Hey, what's up? In this video, we're gonna take a look at how to create a simple slideshow like this.
Round and round we go, losing self-control. I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something, chasing the sun. All those days trying to find.
First, you need to import the images to the Premiere. You can double click on the project panel and you can select all the images you want to import and you can click open. Here you can see I have imported 8 images. If you take a look at the resolution, they are in different sizes, right? You can see one is 1600, more than 300, and you can see these are different resolutions. If all the images are 1920 by 1080 resolution, you can skip the next step. But because these are different resolutions, I'm going to create a new sequence and I name it image 1. Right, you can select the full HD resolution and 1920 by 1080 and you can name this sequence image 1. Right, click OK. Now you want to duplicate this sequence 8 times. And you can rename image 2, image 3. Now you can create a new bin and you can organize these image sequences. And you can drag and drop these sequences to that folder. That way you can organize this pretty quickly. Now I want to add images to each sequence. So I go to the images folder and I use the period in my keyboard, apply these images to sequence like this. I go to the second one and I apply the image. Third one, apply the image. You can use period on your keyboard to do an insert edit. If you take a look at the duration of these images, it is 5 seconds long, right? 4.29 mean it is 5 seconds. Why it is 5 seconds? If you go to the edit and preferences and timeline section, here you can see option still image default duration. It is set to 5 seconds. That means when you import the image to Premiere, its default duration is 5 seconds. If you want to make it 10 seconds, you can type 10 here. But 5 seconds is a pretty good value and I go with that, right? So that's why all the images has 5-second duration. If you take a look at this, you can see. And also you can go to the project panel and you can see the video duration and you can see it is 5 seconds, right? So now we have imported all the images and we have added all these images into the sequence. Now we need to position these images correctly. If you take a look at this, this is not completely fit to the timeline, right? So you can go to the effect control and you can select the image layer and you can use the scale and position parameters to adjust these images properly. So I do that to all the images.
I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something.
You can skip this step if your all images are as same as the sequence that you are going to create. That means if your images are 1920 by 1080p resolution, or you can import these images into Photoshop and you can crop these images to that resolution manually there. If you did that, you don't need to do this step, right? Now we have added all the images into the sequence and we have correctly scaled it inside the sequence. Now you can create a sequence like this. This is a 1080p sequence and now you want to select all the image sequences that you created and you can drag and drop these sequence to this sequence like this. And now we have created a simple slideshow like this, but it is not moving. In order to animate these images, you can select the first sequence and got the effect control and you can add a keyframe at the 0 point for the scale and you can go to the end of this and you can press one time arrow key. That means it move keyframe back. That way you can see the image, and you can change the scale to 106 like this. And if you play this, you can see it is slowly scaling. If it is not sufficient, if you want to make it much faster, you can type 1110 like this, and it will scale much faster. So it is scaling up. So for 5 seconds we increase by 10%. That means we increase for a 1 second the image is scaling by 2%, right? So that is a pretty good number. Now you can move this keyframe to the edge. That way it will not stop at the end, right, like this. And now go to the second image like this and select that one, and first in the here you type 1110 because we are going to make this scale down, and you can add the keyframe here. And now you can move the timeline here, and you can type the 100 here, and now you can move this keyframe to the edge, right, like this. Now if you play this, it is scaling down. Right now you don't have to do this again and again. You can use the copy and paste attribute option. To do that, you can select here and you can click on copy option here, and you go to the third image and you can right click here and you can select paste attributes. That means it will paste the motion attributes. If you have added any other effects, it will show here. If you don't want to copy these effects to the next image, you can uncheck these checkbox, because we are going to copy the scale motion attributes like this. We select this checkbox and you can click OK. Now it is scaling up like this. So the next image should scale down. In order to do that, we copy the second image attributes. You just have to copy it and go to the fourth image and you can paste attributes and click OK. Now you can see it is scaling down, and here you can see it is scaling up. Now you can continue this copy and paste process until the end.
I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become?
Now we have copied all the attributes to the image. Now if you want to add more sound to this slideshow, you can import audio file to this sequence. You can drag and drop this audio to the here, and make sure though it is lower the audio. You can type G here and you can set gain to like -18 decibel, and you can play the
Round and round we go, losing self-control. I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something, chasing the sun. All those days trying to find a place.
Alright, so this is the concept of creating a simple slideshow inside Premiere. You can follow these steps and you can do a lot of advanced things using this.
I keep telling myself, but I don't wanna let you know.